Alright, well, hello YouTube. I'm David Boucher, and this is day 180. So basically the last video of this 6-month life transformation project. And I apologize, I know last weekend I said that Friday was gonna be the actual day, and Friday just got very busy, so I figured, okay, we'll stick to the regular cadence here and make the last video on a Sunday. So unfortunately, it's technically day 182, but it seems appropriate to have the last day be on the end of a week before the start of a new one. So actually, I promised you that I would go ahead and tell you what I've achieved and what I've learned. So I've got my journal here. So I'll be looking down at that. I've told you about how I like to write every day. So I'll refer back to this to kind of go through that list. And I also promised you last video that I would give you kind of a glimpse of the house. And as you can tell, there is a lot to do, but progress is being made. So essentially, there's tile being put down. The kitchen's going to be put in next week, I believe. So there's a lot to do, but I think with me being here, it's helping a lot to get things moving. And hopefully in the next couple weeks, there'll be a lot more progress made. I may even do just a random video about that. So hopefully, well, maybe you'll get to see the end of it. But for now, I'm very happy with the progress, and there's definitely a lot of potential here. So that being said, I'll just go ahead and get into kind of what I've achieved and what I've learned, since they're two different things and they're both very relevant. So in terms of what I've achieved, the first big one is really I reached my goal, or goal, I should say goals, plural. So the big goal was to be in France while working, check, and also the goal for this project was to consistently put out videos. I reached that. I think a lot of people set their minds to something like that and don't follow through on it. And even though I'll admit that my videos weren't the highest quality, I still got it done. So I'm happy with that. I have much more freedom and agency over my life, which is fantastic. I've made some new friends. In fact, I'm meeting one today. He's French, happens to be coming through town. So I saw him last night for dinner. His family's coming over today. That's a lot of fun. I also got in better shape than I was before. So while I was between jobs during January and February, or between occupations, between jobs, I would say, I picked up another fitness routine, which I like a lot. And I wanted to keep at it. So it means that I'm waking up earlier than ever before now. I wake up at 4:30 to get this done, but I feel great. I'm happy to have worked it in my day, and that's been excellent. And then finally, I slimmed down my expenses. So I've talked about this a lot before, but that time when I didn't have any income coming in really made me evaluate what it is that I like, what I need, what I don't need, how much stuff I really want, how that stuff can weigh you down. And so I've really got a much better idea of what my expenses are now. And I feel like I can live very, very well now for a lot less. So it's just a very freeing feeling. And it was a good bit of insight that I picked up. Now, in terms of what I've learned, these are, I think, probably the more key ones, since they're the bigger lessons to take away from this. But I absolutely value freedom over money. So I've said before that I still do well. I took a pay cut, but I have almost complete control over myself, what I do. I've got this amazing privilege to work here while I'm to work from here, basically, rather than having to go into the office every day, which is amazing. Again, touching on the stuff aspect, I really don't need that much. I think I realized that before I just bought things because I could. And so to realize that I'm fine with what I have has been very freeing as well. It definitely cuts down on the need to keep up with the Joneses, to take more debt, buy more stuff, buy a bigger house to buy that stuff. Not that I was on that path before, but I think this really crystallized it. Also, every decision counts. And this is kind of tied into another one, which is that the people around you are really going to be the ones who help you out the most. And so the manager that I met that got me this opportunity, I met him 7 years ago. And the choice to take that job was a very deliberate job. And ever since then, even though if I told people every move that I made, it might seem very random, but each one of those choices got me exactly here. And so your choices do matter. And it's not to say that you're supposed to freak out over what you're going to wear every morning, but for the big life decisions, even though you can't really guess how they're going to lead you if you project things out more than a year or so, just understand that they do matter. And you will absolutely look back and say, okay, I'm here because of decisions that I made before. Sometimes, I know this is another lesson, you do have to make some brash and bold moves. So in my case, that was leaving behind the consulting job. Quite risky. I didn't really have anything set. I just had a plan. I took that bold move, and I'm happier than ever. So I don't want to tell you, just go out and quit your job. Don't do that. Think about it, plan for it. But sometimes You've done the planning, you've thought about it, you've got a plan B, a plan C, a plan D. You just have to act. And hopefully if you've done the homework, things will work out. Finally, or I say finally, this is actually kind of finally. So the one is that the important thing is that it's the goals that matter, not how you get there. So I thought for a long time over the course of my career, I'd have a startup company, I would sell a product or this or that. I sort of, in my mind, left oil and gas behind. And it turns out that I'm here, still in oil and gas, but my goals, I've achieved what I wanted. And so don't get too tied up on how you get somewhere. Just have the end in mind and do whatever you can to get to that point. So with that said, I will leave everyone. I hope everyone's enjoyed this series. Again, I just want to emphasize how fast time goes. I can remember just like it was yesterday making the first video, and it's just gone by so fast, but I've done a lot. So always keep that in mind. Time is going by fast. It's never too late to start, and that time is going to pass you by anyway. So you may as well get started now, because in 2 years' time, 3 years' time, 4 years' time, when you look back and remember that 5 years going by like it was just yesterday, you'll have achieved something. So keep an eye out on this channel. I can't promise it'll all be career stuff. It might be a little bit more random, related to my other interests, but you can always keep in touch with me. Contact@David_Vaucher is a great email to reach me. This YouTube channel as well. I'm on Instagram at @DAVaucher. Love to hear from you and hear how you're doing. So with that said, have a great rest of the year. Hope you enjoyed this, and talk to you soon.